Accra is the capital and largest city of Ghana on the Gulf of Guinea. This vibrant city has a variety of good beaches, excellent nightlife, delicious food, colorful markets, and inspirational art galleries. Accra, as confirmed by many, has the best nightlife in Africa, and it is frequently visited by Nigerian artists Wizkid and Davido. In fact, there is plenty to see and do to suit everyone's tastes in this blissful city. The city also has very good roads. Getting around is quite easy, whether you choose to use a private taxi or go by tro-tro. Also, Accra is known to have impressive buildings, and its real estate market has been on the rise for quite some time. Being an international city, you would find people from almost every country in the world operating in Accra in different areas of life. However, what is the price for all these good things in Accra? What does the average Ghanaian have to say about the cost of living in Accra? Let us get some facts about Accra before we continue. According to Business Insider Africa, Accra is one of Africa's most expensive cities, followed by Lagos and Tangier. Accra has a cost of living index of 38.74. According to the research, the cost of living index looks at how much it will cost to live in one city compared to other cities. The cost of living index takes into consideration expenses like healthcare, feeding, housing, education, and taxes. In Accra, a family of 4 has an estimated cost of living of about $2,094 without monthly rent. A single person's monthly cost of living in Accra is about $581. According to the current Africa Wealth-Based Report, Accra was voted the 10th wealthiest city in Africa. It is also known that Accra got the largest direct foreign investment in Ghana. Accra's wealth is said to be about $34 billion, according to the Africa Wealth Report. In today's video, we will be talking about one of the most discussed matters. Welcome back, touristers. In this video, we will give you a tour of how expensive it is living in Accra in 2022. This video is important for you, especially if you're planning on moving to Ghana. The information here could help make better decisions on how to invest or settle in Accra. Stay with us till the end. Accra has been ranked the most expensive city in Africa. Can you believe that? Let us begin by talking more about Greater Accra and Accra to help us draw a clear distinction between the two. Note that Accra is not Greater Accra. Greater Accra is one of the 16 regions in Ghana, and Accra is one of the 2 metropolitan districts in Greater Accra. The other metropolitan district is the Tema Metropolitan District. Tema is locally called the Harbor City because of its status as Ghana's largest seaport. Most artists in Accra and Ghana as a whole come from Tema, such as Sarkodie, who is a popular artist. Moving on, let's talk about the beautiful city of Accra. Accra is the biggest and most visited city in Ghana. Accra is a beautiful and peaceful city to live in. This city covers an area of 225.7 square kilometers, with a population of about 2.6 million people. Accra also has good beaches, exciting nightlife, many markets, and delicious food. Some tourist attractions include Abori Botanical Gardens, Shy Hills Resource Reserve, Black Star Square, Osu Castle, Jamestown Lighthouse, Labadi Beach, and Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. The list of tourist attractions is very long, so we'll end here today. Accra is the economic hub of Ghana. The Wall Street of Ghana can also be found in Accra, known as Accra Business Center. This is where you will find the Ghana Stock Exchange and the famous World Trade Center in Accra. Accra is also the home of very popular businesses such as MTN, Vodafone, and Ecobank, among other businesses. The city is the tech hub of Ghana, where tech startups and tech giants such as Google and Twitter have their offices. Accra is a friendly city where everyone you meet on the street for the first time calls you Bossu, a local way of calling boss or chairman. Accra, as a metropolitan district, has 3 sub-metropolitan districts, namely Ablekuma South, Ashiedu KTK, and Akekoi South. The cost of living is calculated by comparing the prices of some goods and services on which consumers spend their money. These goods and services include healthcare, feeding, housing, transport fare, and taxes. However, for this video, we would use these 4 points to explain why Accra is the most expensive city in Africa. Cost of transportation, tourism, feeding, and housing. However, we covered more aspects like health, education, and income tax in the video in the description below. Do well to check it out to know how to plan your budget or income in Accra. Let us talk about the history of tro-tro. Tro-tro is a word gotten from the old Ga word meaning 3 pence. Ga is one of the languages spoken in Ghana, especially in the Accra region. 3 pence used to be the unit of currency during the time of British rule in Ghana. At that time, 3 pence was the price for a single ride in the public transport vehicle that came to be known by the name tro-tro. Accra is also known as the traffic hotspot in Ghana. One can spend close to 2 hours in traffic, even though this is way better than Lagos and Nairobi, where one can spend 5 to 6 hours in traffic. Taxi drivers especially take advantage of the traffic situation to charge higher prices. Passengers pay more when they have to spend more time in traffic. Also, since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, prices of fuel have increased. Due to the spike, transport prices have also increased. The rise in these prices affects all means of transportation. A resident of Accra shared their experience of how they spent $12 for a 15-kilometer journey, whereas they used to spend just $6 before. Let us look at tourism in Accra. Tourism generates income, employment, and development for the local communities where tourist attractions are found. Ghana generates a lot of money through tourism. There is a whole Ministry of Tourism, Art, and Creative Culture located in Accra. Accra is the home of the only international airport in Ghana, the Kotoka International Airport. The airport has been considered the best airport in West Africa. This makes it the only entry point into Ghana by air. As such, Accra is the destination for tourists and foreign dignitaries. The city has 5- and 7-star hotels such as Kempinski and Movenpick Ambassadors Hotel, which serve as a residence for most tourists and dignitaries. Other tourist destinations include Accra's national parks, Labadi Beach, many markets, castles, and art centers, among others. The year of return in 2019 had most tourists and foreigners arrive in Accra. Most of the activities such as music, cultural, and art festivals took place in Accra. With lots of tourists and foreigners staying in the city, business owners in Accra took advantage of that by increasing the prices of their products. Even roadside food vendors saw this as an opportunity to make more money by tripling the price. The word on the street was more foreigners means more dollars. You will hear vendors on the street say in Twi, the most widely spoken language in Ghana, Abrofo Fiu Nudi Sika Abe, which translates in English as the foreigners have brought a lot of money. We are now on feeding. Foodstuff is super expensive in Accra because there are not many fertile lands in Accra to grow crops. Hence, the region depends on foodstuff from other parts of the country. Due to the high cost of transportation in getting these foods to Accra by farmers and traders, they tend to push the extra expenses to buyers. These contribute to the high cost of foodstuff in Accra. Part of the reasons why Accra is one of the most expensive cities in Africa is housing cost. The cost of rent has increased by over 70% in the last 4 years, according to statistics. The effect of this unfortunate situation has held Accra's young and vibrant population back. This is because many people are unable to pay for an excellent house to live in. As a result, most young people in Accra prefer shared accommodation with their friends or total strangers. There are government affordable houses located in Accra, but these projects are uncompleted. As such, not available for rent. If you're still watching this video, then it's interesting to you. Please give it a like and share it with a friend or family member before we continue. Now, let us look at the main reasons for the increasing rent prices in Accra. 1. Housing deficit. The demand for accommodation is more than the number of houses available. From the basic principles of economics, the prices of goods and services are always higher when more people demand them. That is high demand, but they're limited in supply. About 2 million people in Ghana cannot get accommodation due to the shortage in the number of houses. 2. Reliance on middlemen to get a place to rent or a property to buy. Agents are well known for helping people find a place to rent. These middlemen work hand in hand with landlords to help find tenants. This is not a regulated market like the capital market. These agents, after consulting landlords, add their commission, up to 10%, on properties. They also charge a viewing fee, that is the money you give to an agent for showing you a property. All these costs, together with the transportation you provide for these agents, add up to the final cost of the rent you pay in Accra. 3. Weak rent control law. Rules that were put in place for accommodation are not being respected. The rent control laws have been completely ignored by landlords. According to the law regulating rents, paying in advance for accommodation should not be more than 6 months. However, it has become normal to see landlords charging up to 2 years of rent from potential tenants. Other landlords go as far as charging 3 years of rent in advance to those willing to pay. The authorities are aware of this, but no one seems to care enough to solve this problem. 4. The government's reluctance to make accommodation problems a primary concern. Ghanaians are used to politicians promising things. They hardly ever actually fulfill their promises. Unfortunately, this is quite common in Africa. Rent and housing in Accra seem to be something the politicians are not willing to include in their plans. For some reason, the government is trusting the free market to handle people's accommodation needs despite the unbearable situation. 5. Rich potential tenants. There are many expats moving into Accra with a lot of money. Also, there are many Ghanaians from the diaspora moving back to Accra to settle. Some of the young people in Accra are increasingly becoming rich. These young people have made their money either through fair or questionable means. However, how they made their money is not what we are concerned about here. The presence of money and people with money have caused landlords to also increase rent prices. Landlords that usually lease houses for lower-income earners have decided to increase accommodation prices so as not to be left behind. Accra is among the African cities with the most expensive property prices. According to Numbeo, the price-to-income ratio should be the basic measure for buying an apartment. Numbeo carried out a survey, and Accra was found to be one of the African cities that have the most expensive properties. In Accra city center, the purchase price per square meter for a new apartment is an average of $1,751 as of 2021. Meanwhile, it is costly to access a loan in Accra compared to other cities, including Lagos, Nigeria. These prices target mainly foreigners and wealthier Ghanaians. Therefore, competition for land and houses is not easy. The idea of citizens coming back to Accra from abroad is also a part of why the prices are further increased. There are no strategies for long-term affordable housing. This leaves the creation of house plans up to the private developers. They'd be building for buyers that can afford it. Many household goods like furniture are not produced locally. They're rather imported. These come at a higher cost than if they were locally produced. So, home builders tend to pass the cost of duty and other taxes to the buyers. As much as Accra is Africa's most expensive city, it has also become the hub of entertainment and tourism. We could go on and on all day with more facts about why Accra has been considered Africa's most expensive city in 2022. However, all of that will not be necessary, as the facts are evident. It is up to any individual to look at the information provided and decide if they agree that Accra is Africa's most expensive city in 2022 or not. Do you all agree that Accra is Africa's most expensive city? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're new here, please take some time to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to be notified when we release a new video like this. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.